Good evening, America. Unless you're watching from California, then maybe not so good. Just kidding. Sort of, it's your favorite president, some say the best ever. And tonight, I've got a few things to say. So grab your popcorn, turn off the fake news, and let's talk about what's really going on. It's going to be good, really good.
And Marie, I know you don't feel this way, but why are so many in your party intent on protecting such monsters? What is wrong with getting the child rapist who is here illegally back out of the country and the whole long list of them all?
Nothing's wrong with deporting criminals. I think we should, 100%. What is challenging right now is you put up 3 extraordinarily dangerous criminals who should be deported. I also, on the other hand, see the stories of the 65-year-old grandmother who has 6 grandkids, who's been here for 30 years, who has not committed any crime except coming here illegally, and she is now being targeted by ICE.
Brutal Metro Atlanta murder got national attention. The president blamed illegal immigration for drug trafficking and crime, including a horrific murder in Clayton County.
In Georgia, an illegal alien was recently charged with murder for killing, beheading, and dismembering his neighbor.
Tonight, we want to take a closer look at that murder case. In November, police say Christian Ponce Martinez killed, beheaded, and dismembered his neighbor, a 76-year-old grandfather. Ponce Martinez now faces charges of malice murder. Fox 5's Doug Evans has more on the story.
Christian Ponce Martinez remains locked up in the Clayton County jail charged with murder. He also has a hold placed on him by ICE because he's in the country illegally. The Clayton County DA told me today that it's been difficult to pin down his immigration status. That's because they still have not determined whether he entered the country illegally or was here on an expired green card. But at the time of the murder in November, Clayton County police said he had just moved to Clayton County from Mexico. It was early November last year when police discovered the dismembered body of 77-year-old Robert Page. His family had reported him missing. Police followed a blood trail next door after neighbor Christian Ponce Martinez was discovered hiding outside and acting suspicious. The trail led police to the gruesome discovery. Page's body had been cut up, his head severed from his body.
But now, like my sister, I'm scared for her to walk home from school, stuff like that happening, you know.
Neighbor Isaiah Wint heard that President Trump had used this case as argument to build a border wall.
He has good reasoning, you know. Him building the wall is not really a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if you want to come into this country, come get it the right way.
Another man is behind bars after detectives say he sexually assaulted his 80-year-old landlord in Miami. Now, police say that elderly woman had fallen and while she was cooking and was yelling for help. Officers say she asked Eric Garcia Gutierrez to call an ambulance, and instead he assaulted her. Police arrested the 37-year-old, charging him with a felony sexual battery. He's being held without bond.
Surveillance footage obtained exclusively by Fox 5. You see her stop as her dog sniffs a wall. A man dressed in black walks past her. Her back is to him. He turns around, heads towards her, punches her so hard she's knocked off her feet. We intentionally pause the video before the punch lands.
When you knocked me, I hit my nose here, and then I fell down.
In the video, you can see her attacker calmly walking off. Her dog tries to comfort her. Passers-by rush to help her. She's laying still on the sidewalk.
You don't look like you were going to get up when I saw that video, but here you are.
Because I didn't want to see the tape, and maybe because I feel so lucky, because he could have had a knife, right?
She suffered a concussion and doesn't remember much of the attack, but it has now been added to a growing pile of NYPD data showing misdemeanor assaults up 9% from this time last year and up nearly 15% over the past 2 years. You can hear the stories of women randomly punched on social media.
I just got punched in the face walking home. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. I can't even talk.
I don't ever want anyone to attack an ICE officer. I also don't like, though, is ICE officers who are, you know, plainclothes, masked, scaring people. These people are not undercover. They are coming in heavily armed, throwing, in many cases, non-violent people to the ground. We have video after video of it.
Hey, what happened to you, bro?
They hit me with a rubber bullet.
They shot you in the head? You all right?
So I think we have to hold both ideas in our head at once, deport the bad criminals, but maybe not the 65-year-old grandmother with 6 grandkids who pays taxes and is a beacon of her community.
Monday, there's a thing on the board. You gotta be out by March 15th. I think that gave us like a month and a half to find out where we're gonna go. I thought my suitcases were gonna be on the curb because I'm not that fast. If it wasn't for my daughter, they would have been on the curb. I said, no, you're not moving me. And they said, yes, we are. And everything was done behind closed doors. Yeah. We didn't have a chance to actually make any attempt to stop them because there wasn't enough time.
And Harris, I'm curious, though, because all of a sudden now CNN is touting, you know, this app, right? We want people to have the notice of when ICE is in the neighborhood.
Let's talk really quickly about the excellent agents of ICE. Turns out right now that CNN is pushing an app to track ICE agents to help criminal aliens evade being detained. We have the article up right here along with the clip. What's your response to CNN?
It's disgusting. I mean, I cannot believe we're in a world where the men and women who enforce the law are the bad guys, and one who broke the law, they're victims. And look, it's already a dangerous job. You know, ICE agents are arresting the worst of the worst. President Trump committed from day one. We're going to concentrate our effort on public safety threats and national security threats. So right there, the job's already dangerous. But when you're out there tracking ICE movements and giving people a heads up they're coming, that just puts the danger at a whole new level. You know, it's only a matter of time for someone sits in hiding and waits for an ICE agent and tries to take them out. I mean, this is horrendous that a national media outlet will be out there trying to forecast law enforcement operations throughout the country. I mean, it's incredible where we're at as a nation. And I think DOJ needs to look at this and see if they're crossing that line. I think we need to send a strong message that we need to protect our law enforcement personnel.
But what notice did Laken Riley get when she was ambushed and murdered? What notice do any of these Angel
And how much did they cover that?
Exactly. And so I just don't understand why an argument to protect a certain amount of people has any weight in this conversation at all, when the conversation is about protecting Americans from those monsters and protecting ICE agents from the domestic monsters that are trying to ambush them.
We begin with breaking news. The Trump administration suing the city of Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and the LA City Council over its sanctuary city policies. In the lawsuit that was filed in California's Central District Federal Court, the Department of Justice says the city's sanctuary city laws are illegal and violate the Constitution by thwarting immigration enforcement. The DOJ alleges the city has refused to cooperate or share information with federal immigration authorities. We have reached out to the city for comment.
Yeah, no, those are great points. I'm not going to go after CNN. I don't want to help them get viewers. That's all we do when we talk about them. Look, they didn't do their due diligence here. They should have contacted ICE. They should have done a lot of things journalistically, but we'll just let them live in that lane. You know, Maria, I don't know wider investigations that ICE is doing, but they tie a lot of bolts and things together and streams of information together with some of the people that they pick up. So I can't question every arrest that they do. I don't know who that grandmother knows. You don't either. And that's part of the issue here. And that is difficult, but they can't tell us everything. What I'm looking at are the times that those people are returned back into society and returned to their homes. And that is happening. With what regularity? It's not known enough for us to know, because they're so embedded, some of these gangsters, into our communities that, yeah, we might see a grandmother, an aunt, or someone.
A 6-year-old with cancer, Harris?
Look, the 6-year-old has to live with an adult. Come on, don't get cheesy. Of course, that person's in a family.
That offends me.
And that child is in a family with whomever is in that household. And what I'm saying, and what I would advocate for, is once they do the vetting, then you move on to the next thing that makes sense for those people that you've apprehended. Is that letting them go? Is it sending them back to their country and saying you can get in line first? Whatever that is. But if you're saying that we shouldn't stop something like tipping people off to ICE agents for their own protection because you don't like other things about the process, well, I thought you could do many things at one time.
Look, you got a point right here. It is. Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
You usually say that you can. We have to be able to do that all together. And by the way, Hakeem Jeffries was wrong. And so are you and anybody else who would say that people being targeted in law enforcement cannot cover themselves, protect themselves. These gang members will go after families. They don't care.
Toma. Te lo saca la cara, no sé.
They have every right. So when Hakeem Jeffries said a couple of weeks ago, let's unmask these agents, I want him then to be tasked with protecting.
Fine. Because, Rosanna, what offends me personally would be, for example, the illegal immigrant that set the subway rider on fire here in my city, and the list that goes on. So, again, what offends me is the notion that there are people that are trying to protect those monsters and also render vulnerable the ICE agents that put their lives on the line to try to get those monsters out of our cities.
I have to just say, I am very disappointed in CNN. I know you don't want to give them any attention, but, I mean, I've been in TV news a number of years, so have you, Harris. Yeah. There's a certain amount of responsibility when you put something on your air. Somebody there had to know that this was a very controversial thing to put on their air. I mean, are they so ratings challenged they'll throw up all the rules and regulations of TV news and just put anything on their air? It was irresponsible to promote this app.
That's right.
That's why they did it.
The Trump administration sues the city of L.A., Mayor Karen Bass, and the L.A. City Council over L.A.'s sanctuary city policies. NBC4's Macy Jenkins joins us live from downtown right now with new reaction to this lawsuit. Macy.
Hi there, Colleen. Good afternoon to you. Now, the Department of Justice says that LA's sanctuary city laws violate the Constitution. They say they're an impediment to federal immigration enforcement efforts. And now they're asking the district court to make those sanctuary city laws unenforceable. Amid continued immigration raids in the greater LA region, the Department of Justice is now filing a lawsuit claiming the city of Los Angeles is interfering. I spoke to U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley this afternoon.
People are being swept up because we have to cast a broader net. That's because of California's policies.
The suit filed Monday against the city, Mayor Karen Bass, and City Council President Marquise Harris Dawson asserts that the city's refusal to cooperate with federal agents has led to lawlessness, rioting, looting, and vandalism since June 6th. The DOJ also claims that in response to President Trump's 2024 election, the LA City Council began the process of codifying into law its sanctuary city policies,
wishing to thwart the will of the American people regarding deportations. It also claims that the city violated the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution, which states that a state law is invalid if it stands as an obstacle to the accomplishment and execution of the full purposes and objectives of Congress.
And Congress gets to set immigration policy in the United States, not the city of Los Angeles. So in addition to violating the Supremacy Clause, they're also discriminating against federal agents, and that is also unlawful.
The complaint alleges federal agents are singled out and treated differently than other law enforcement agents. The Sanctuary City Ordinance, established in November, prohibits federal agents from using city resources for immigration enforcement and prohibits city employees from sharing data with those agents.
Have y'all noticed with the deportation, America ain't missed a beat? Homes still getting built, food still in the grocery store, Taco Bell starting the game business. It's growing like it never grew before. They say we couldn't make it without them, but look like we doing pretty good. I'm still going to work. Less people in Walmart. Less people in the emergency room. Less people at the doctor's office. I haven't heard a black person complain yet. Even though the ICE raids are going on, America's still rolling. Black Man Thoughts 2.0.
Do you believe deploying the military to conduct law enforcement on U.S. soil is legal?
Look, we have to make certain that we protect American cities. If not for President Trump, Los Angeles would be burning right now. We had 6 ICE agents that were totally in fear of their life because local officials, an incompetent mayor, a grossly incompetent governor, refused to do their job.
Is there anything you would not find acceptable for the U.S. military to do on U.S. soil?
Look, President Trump understands what the Constitution is. He understands what the laws are. We have to protect our cities. We have to protect our ICE agents. We have to protect our federal buildings. And Gavin Newsom should maybe get off Twitter and start actually going down to L.A. and protecting his own citizens.
The courts have ruled on the Guard. They will be back under my command.
A few moments later.
Okay, why is Trump back in control of the National Guard, you guys? What the hell is going on? First I lose my pool boy Roberto, and now this? I seriously need a mani-pedi right now. A bottle of wine, cherry ice cream, and a whole season of Will and Grace. Fuck this politics thingy.
What's actually happening is they're buying voters. That's really what's happening. It's like a giant voter fraud scam. They're importing voters. It's easy to understand if you look at basic incentives. The basic incentive here is the more illegals that the Democrats can bring in, the more likely they are to win. So that's what they're going to do. That's what they have been doing, and it worked in California. California's supermajority Dem. And look at all the companies that are leaving California.
Yeah.
I mean, In-N-Out just announced they're leaving.
Yep.
Their headquarters leaving California.
They're moving to Tennessee.
A 4th day of rallies and protests on the streets of Los Angeles.
It was a peaceful rally. What is going on right now is also peaceful.
Here we are expecting rallies later on.
When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
In Los Angeles, there is a new crowd of protesters that has been building.
CNN had it that these were rallies. Now they've become protests.
I'm afraid that by tonight they become riots. If we don't have the ability to stand up and stop this violence before it consumes a great city like Los Angeles, then there's no telling where this could spread.
Hardworking, good people, and they're the backbone of our city, and they should have access to all the things that we have access to. And I just don't think they understand that it's a political pawn. I don't think they understand
it's a political game.
This is not done for compassion and kindness.
No.
This is just done to ensure that it stays blue.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's essentially a bribery with your tax dollars.
Yes, this is why the Dems will not even deport criminals.
Yeah.
Because every criminal deported is a lost vote.